onye nwanyị ka ngenye ya ka ngenye ndụ m niile were ihe niile m were nye n'ogbu aka ya ebe o doro anya n'ihe o jere kpọọ m bụ ka m soro wee ihe bụ alaeze ya ebori agaghị ezo alaeze ya ebe akịka agaghị ata alaeze ahụ alaeze nke ebighị ebi. Etu o siri masị Chineke, etu o siri masị onye nwe m, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya dị ebube, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya dị ebube. Etu o siri masị Chineke, etu o siri masị onye nwe m, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya dị ebube, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya, ịma mma ya dị ebube. Dị ka nwele na-achọ mmiri ọ ga-aṅụ, kube m na-achọ gị onye nwe m, naanị gị ka obi m na-achọ. Achọrọ m ikpere gị dị ka nwele na-achọ mmiri ọ ga-aṅụ, kube m na-achọ gị onye nwe m, naanị gị ka obi m na-achọ. Achọrọ m ikpere gị. Onye si na ọ bụ ya karịrị ọnwụ, ọ dịghị onye tara amụsụ ọ ga-anwụrịrị. Ọnwụrị ọnwa adịghị n'ụwa n'ụwa, ma onye kwere ndụ ya kere n'ọnwụ. Ma ọ dakpuru nwụọ, ma ọ yara ya nwụọ, nwụrụ ọnwụ. Onye kwere nwere olileanya ịla n'igwe. Ụmụnne m na Kristi, otuto dịrị Jesu Kristi. Ihe wọrọ anyị isiokwu na mgbede a, anyị ga-anọ n'ime ya wee tụlee uche maka ndụ nwanne anyị nwoke bụ Reverend Father Dr. JohnMartins Chikani. Isiokwu ahụ bụ Dead but not forgotten. Dead but not forgotten. A Christian philosopher from Kenya, John Mbiti, Bonye dere akwụkwọ, o dere the title of the book about the living dead. The living dead. N'akwụkwọ ahụ, ihe John Mbiti na-akọwa bụ na o nwere 3 elements eji ama a living dead. As a matter of fact, the living dead bụ an ancestor. There are 3 elements that must be seen in anybody before you consider the person as an ancestor, and as well consider the person to be alive even when the person has died. Number 1, when the person has a continued presence, it's like his presence is effective. The influence oh mama no eno kada o gadike kona gwa goku e gana say no kwa you will just believe that onye anụnwa ị na-atụ ide egwu ma ọ bụ ị na-ege ide ntị na ọ na-emagbet na ihe ọ gwara gị keeps re-echoing ọ ga na-adagne ntị all the time. That is when the influence of the person is alive. And the person has one quality of being an ancestor. Number two, but onye ahụ bụ an ancestor, ọ bụrụ na ọnwụ na onye ahụ ga-enwe ihe a na-akpọ capacity of being a mediator. Ọ ga-enwe the grace of being a mediator. Ya bụ ikwetere na ọ bụrụ na onye na-anọ n'izumikpe anaghị eme gịnị ama ya. N'agbanyeghị na papa ga a na-eme agụ mana amara na ọ nọrọ mgbe ọ nọ gwa Chukwu okwu na Chukwu dịka onye meni okwu. So the person becomes a vital intercessor, a figure that intercedes between the living and the creator. Yes, and the third element is the quality of becoming a moral guard. Yeah, but like it's a Nero Mekonya. Onya the quality of being a moral guard. Onye na-eme Mekonya need to go ya baseball mad. Onye na-eme Mekonya need ije eru mgbe ya no eru. So these three elements, ozu okenendo mad mar no nya ban ancestor. Praise the Lord. And you would agree with me. Now these three elements are in Ekumakaya zuru okay. Nendo nanye. Ijele Nsoka Diocese. Iroko. The Okoman of STC. The iconic formator. The trailblazer, the pathfinder of St. Teresa's College in Soka. These three elements, Zuroke, Nimendria, Owenkana Chacho, he has influence in all those that met him in his life. He has the capacity of being a moral guard to anybody. Then you know that you are getting a good advice from anybody around you. And he has the capacity of being an intercessor to us, the living. So that Presbyterium, they're happy. Now, another ancestor who will be interceding for us. St. Teresa's College alumni and the present students, all of them, they're happy. An ancestor who will be there interceding for them. They're happy. That in their own record time, in this generation, they were an ancestor that will be talking about the happenings of today before the Creator. Praise the Lord. John Mbiti Garniku wait, there were two types of or two categories of ancestors. When not borrow the Sasa ancestors, when not borrow the Zanazi ancestors. Now, their influence dies within a generation. Their influence open a hand under Bahe Ganechete. Man open the generation na hekpo na kondo hekpo. And the whole be about the common immortal ancestors. Here we're about common immortality. Now, manu wende about Sasa ancestors. Sasa ancestors manu wende about personal immortality. And then when personal immortality, their influence is alive from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. They gather to eternity. Father JohnMartins nwere ihe na-akpọ personal immortality of a great ancestor that a generation would go, another generation will come. Irute na STC asaga obere STC but STC. Then were a man that existed in the history of STC, JohnMartins Chikani. There will be a passage of influence from one generation to another, so he will never die. Personal immortality. There are many who will live this life after their several years in this world, will die and they will not be remembered. Ormon, like our father. Oje social media, otemegu, ojo kumoku, ojo ozmashwa, ojo komugbo, ojo remeshi, ojo memehane, echetegetenekpernan. Onwege okoje okumeka mbe, okumeka. Onwege ti anase, ni abeji maria, mar gujonwe nor. Iye na akpati yeku, but not researching and praying for God to tell you the purpose of your creation. God, tell me the purpose of my creation. The purpose of my being a priest. The purpose of my coming from this community. From coming from this family. Obreni chofutaya. Ije ekpa no shekonwa. Imagi ekpa hane kakpem. Washo shekonwa ichake owaile gane kumakage. Now, obreni chofutaya bihe. You can live, and many people who would have become something better through you, they will also be blind, looking for who shall help us. Many people have been so careless that they don't ask God, what is the purpose of my creation? And they stay and stay and they die. And many of them, they became so careless. They are in prison of bad, mundane places where they are. Many of them are in bar, wasting their life. Many of them are soaked in fornication that their life will just be wasting. Many of them are in so many bad places that the purpose of creation will now be blinded. When you read the book of Judges, chapter 6, the man Gideon was a coward. Gideon didn't understand, gonna be able, hey Gideon. Oh, Magno, where you know anime? Gideon Gabonuma, Gideon, and the mother children, oh, Vikaka, children, I obload some Israel, and I edge, no, no, you win, Yabaya. And look at that Gideon Ganek paper, Ezezo, look at that God, whom that the purpose of this man is being wasted, though, of not of Talagonob. And God now appeared to Gideon and told Gideon, what is your name? Also, Gideon. I said, now, your name is not Gideon. Your name is Mighty Man in Battle. Also, your name is now the Mighty Man in Battle. Gideon, wait on way, chofta. Ya kana bag. Ya na jog na ye meri. We kote Israel ndi ana ye jaya against the Midianites. Go kote rotutunda ya ndi ana ye seje. God still wanted him to understand Udu grace onwe. No grace here depending on mankind. Always say akposhe in the wheel elipo. Bote madu 300. Come that 300. Say bote madu 300 ke heje ya baya. Ukuru the 300 we jede. We marry. Gane marry na ya. Because he now realized the purpose of his creation. Jacob Balerije gure isowayo mere Yahoo. Jacob je mere Yahoo. Meme Yahoo mwego chere no ya bi echuku keteni. Chere no ya bi echuku keteni. Ye wo bri na tri creation. Na wo bristo. Na ko mekpori ya bi onwe ya to nga. Iso be futa ga chuko ya no nwe ga gbako. O ga chuko ya o ga gbako. E go me patari rimeni kan humana. Remember, oh God, backo. That bare one day, Ganonero, Yan Echipul Mog. Yan Echipul Lorog, Lorello, Osagan, Hagosian, have Jacob, Osan, Hagab Jacob. They have Israel. O when we tongue, we chuaja, chupaja, Balachipude is Sojasis of Bazanum. And that was how they got reconciled. Praise the Lord. You have understanding the purpose of your creation. Father JohnMartins Chikani, Oya Inekumakaya, Chiri father in the year 1979. Go to father Chipo. As a father, the parish was just about 7 months or 9 months. Boru Shogumir in a parish. Not as a parish priest, but just as only non a parish. 9 months is too wire. emeremekpo onweta onwoye in around 1992, 1993. Mgbe egbe Anagbachara was the principal of St. Teresa's College in Nsukka. Man, St. Teresa's College in Nsukka was a mess. It was den of bad people. I said, if you want to, science, I'm sorry for the science. Science was a very bad place. I remember when the seminary, I got tired of seminary. I do group Ike Gurai or non-seminary. I got Pama my English St. John's what? As when my alliance now look at his science. So I'm just can lad and Goma Papa, equity 9 lela. So can you go my father? When I watch my father acquire. So my God, they made Jake seminary also. Now I look at me who go school laws ye Jacob book science. Mago kona won kureji boom boom boom. And he now told me the stories of science. I know where in the classmates, the friends, my Jeruke science. Obno mo work here chukumen mebere. Mano we go near ishi fatar. Mbe no rutenta. Ishi after. Ihe haji ka obo ano kata hebia na anyị visiting. Obo herute he double baggy of the sono to I can clear. I can ask Imatoga no beho. Half a time we do for going to get head on my axe snapper. Axe. So it was like a kind of uniform here in science that time. Now, what I'm trying to say, but I was just trying to tell you the condition of STC during Anagbachara. But Chikani no katara azoro fada uma no with a purpose chuku kenye we show acho me gwa ko hie hia bon ma no we ko hie hia bon and the father mar ko hie hia bon ma no be da show jegde na education she from education she on ima nsigi show ni to siri what you mean of the le bana ko wacha. Man, there is strong Emmanuel Sendaya STC 1992-1993 as a redeemer. Call land an STC a wofu Anagbachara wofu pull out from STC. Cable from STC Chikani and Lata Hana and bad boys of STC, Kwadome riot. Kwadome riot, my second, just so we butter in the synagogue, John always, oh, gonna buy Nagan wearing a Mekote. Like they recognize him as a mighty man in battle. Where we go, where bar, no, yeah, died maybe their kingdom. And by JohnMartins, boo, national hand. National hand that time. He kwado me vrum walk. He jug national hand. He je gbiri me mbo national hand. He je here that place. Father ugwo go haka akposhe mbo. Ya be na shini eri. Ya be ha meet ha career apaya career that day kanu na shiru tenda. JohnMartins be kwado me ze oria. Ke father o de go ya rore. Woro father kuzumana agaga wolf teze egbe na ekwensu water o mara no bogo enwere o father bo bia chima na enwere purpose in the priesthood purpose in the priesthood or to Kogoro parish obegbe we dar or parish ko be kwesu Nnaemeka be yar I wore ejuondo ka ala shan ga yare ngo no I keep on doing Kaikuma head this Sunday, who come not Sunday, not easy. Our cash mail. Oh, when the father not Junior. Oh, Nukaga Lashama. Oh, my one father one day. Oh, one father the wonders is Shami, Lata, the wonders is Lata, Chernov, Mark time, but I didn't mean a parish. Catechism, we are late. You know, say, I call a line. Forward march. Praise the Lord. Now, I'm talking about the purpose of life. Father JohnMartins, Chikani, Armama Korea, or Requiem, or Lagdema. Remembering the influence of him, allowing his invisible presence to be alive in the midst of the living. The teachers, the great teachers of Nigeria, great teachers of Nigeria. So the great students of Nigeria. Okay, now I want to tell you, Martin Luther King Jr. made a reflection. The title of that reflection about the letter of St. Paul to Christian teachers in America. That's the title of that reflection. A letter of St. Paul to Christian teachers in America. Now, after the teachers in America, that he is happy that what he was not able to do during his own time, what he could not be able to do during his own time, that they are doing it now. Scientifically, somebody can eat breakfast in America and go to France to eat lunch. That is the power of science in America. And he praised them and thanked them. But the point he said, you Americans, as I look at you from afar, I wonder whether your moral progress is commensurate with your scientific progress. You Americans, as I look at you from afar, I wonder whether your moral progress is commensurate with your scientific progress. Our country, Nigeria, is sinking. Education is sinking. We are celebrating a man who saw education of his own time and education of the future. Dora Akunyele once said that there is something fundamentally wrong with education of today. And I want to tell us that education is dying in the hands of teachers of today. Education is dying in the hands or in the life of students of today. It is a big problem. But I want also to prophetically say that those who are killing the education of today were politicians. How? Politicians know how to make people obey them. The leaders, they know how to make the people obey them. The one of the most influential tool or effective tool, look at any leader, make any know around him, mob his attack. And our leaders discovered that we be do ponding kuzeg. Ka ponding kuzeg and kuzi egu bejide he. Egu bejide ze he. Akwan egu beji he. As he ngunu bazara returning officers. He bazara returning officers in election. Ka he bazara returning officers in election. Oga wa gwaza here results here jakpo hepo. Ihebe mebie. That is how they killed our education today. And gradually they have gained a kind of influence in the education sector. They now determine what happens in every institution and secondary schools. All this, but the way of shaking the world. My dear brothers and sisters, one anyị nwoke bụ Chikani anyị na-eli nta anyị na-akwanye n'ugwu ikpeazụ ọ ga-abanye kwanye nta na-echile n'elibe came from ezinụlọ ndị bụ Ogbungwu anyị head 6 nne na ha mara ha ịla nwụkpọ ọma sọsọ onye họrọ bụ nwanne nwaanyị na-analụ n'obolo ịhapụ obolo mgbe a na-aga ihe ọgụgụ ọma na mgbede anụnwa o nwere ebe m mechitere m in the line of that oziọma asị o wee sị Jesu ọ bụrụ na ị na-ebe a nwanne m nwoke akarọ ịnwụ. I hear the voice of the sister of JohnMartins who is remaining out of the 6 crying with tears and saying, God, ọ bụrụ na ị nọ mgbe JohnMartins dara na room here nwanne m nwoke akarọ ịnwụ. I hear the feelings of Catholic Presbyterian Nsukka Diocese saying, Chukwu, ọ bụrụ na ị nọ mgbe JohnMartins jere ka o kofute towel wee daa ọ karị nwụ. Ndị obodo Owere Ezeọba ga na-ekwu ofu okwu ahụ. But I want to tell us, one of the greatest heresy ever preached by philosophers, but that death is annihilation. Death is not annihilation. Death, but a jump into life. Or a jump into life. Our brother JohnMartins is not dead. He is alive. He is alive. He is not lost because we know where he is. He will not remain in the grave because his soul is in the hand of his creator. And that is where he is. Praise the Lord. Edikom dey land very soon. Land no kuchukwu agụ. Mgbe m nọ primary 2, Father JohnMartins, Father Parish in that time, I've forgotten. Odi Hapoka Parish, Anog. So Father JohnMartins gonna be ukwu n'Owerri aka na anyị ụka. Ka ọ na-abịa akụka ọ ga-abụ nọkọta ọbịa late. Ụbọchị ọbịa late n'ọsọ anyị alandam ke Land Rover. Ịghọtago? Ọsọ anyị alandam ke Land Rover na ya akụmanị. So as a massava, I was taking ihe ịlọ na-ekwu ka ọ bụrụ ihe nyere m aka. Mgbe kra mma alandam ke Land Rover. We one day na primary school by I struggled to get admission in the seminary and passed. Now, one day, one Father John Eze, Julie, onye here John Chides Eze, Korea na azung board ne watakere. Julie one na kuzi na primary the primary 5 that time. When I was in the primary 5, my mama in primary 2. My mama used to be a neat boy, that quiet, robust, good-looking guy. I'm on so bad. In very quick way. Now, I was so intelligent. So, one day, back and I in the primary 2. And I in the primary 2. That day, they had defined about what is land. What is land? So, okay, we're going in the primary 5 Zatar land. What's there? Unamagable land, Julian Aguaya. Unamagable land. I say, land, no, you have recreation. So, back for recreation, highly gun on a class. I give recreation, large time. Hey, leg at to go again, hits again in me. I said, we got to here land. No, not got recreation. Best friend, I have my gun. Boss, now you Jane primary 2, Jake Potter. Onye za, ye land. No, Satan, no, not Piagru really, Tari, I be Piazrunesh. So I wouldn't on a class, Babia could tell him bake me. Pass some mobia. Ben futare jule ke someone imam bia nge soke by class. Osomo gonna be edere bon say ani edere ba what is land. Osomo monge tari ha. Aneta onata itari. Osomo na asere ndu me kwa anu a gonna be what is land. Mo gonye hezatari. No bere ne ma zata. Na mje koja pia highly tari. We nata ye chotwe shile gana mamu oba some gonna be what is land. O highly pe me nyaga na ekrim. Mbe say land. Land am ke Land Rover. Ewo chimo kokoko. Nwa biaru akwagbolo nwe ya nakwa. Ewo chimo kokoko. Nwa biaru akwagbolo nwe ya nakwa. Father Chikani alamo. Ukwejiela nwaguo. Uroko sukade sisala wateru litemma Anani Chikani ala Sofia na o sukade asis nebe St. Teresa's College alumni nebe Abudu nebe Ibu ozo diru anya ka Aise ge laba o kutazige denanyo iyo ladore. God rest the soul of Father Chikani. May the soul and the souls of all the faithful departed